Oh, Vande Sembhumapatim Suragurum Vande Jagatkaranam Vande Pannagabhushanam Sashidharam Vande Pasunam Patim Vande Surya Shashanka Vanninayanam Vande Mukunda Priyam Vande Bhaktajana Asrayancha Varadam Vande Bhaktajana Asrayancha Varadam Vande Sivam Shankaram. Friends, by the grace of Goddess Bhavatarini, Narendranath was freed from the clutches of Tamasika Prakriti. He had no more attachment to anybody. He had developed only cosmic love, love for everybody, concern for everybody, and he was detached from the house, and he developed that love for the entire mankind, entire creation. In the year 1886, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa passed away. Swami Vivekananda felt a little vacuum. He was not interested in staying at home, nor was there the great master to console him. He felt an urge to enter into the wide world. Sometime in 1890, he left Calcutta as the wandering monk, Parivrajaka, wandering monk, sannyasi. From Calcutta to Kanyakumari, he wandered about. Earlier, when he was one of the children of Bhuvaneshwari Devi, his love was confined only to his brothers and sisters and the family. When he joined Sri Ramakrishna's disciples, his brothers and sisters increased in number. Love expanded. Now, in 1890, when he started wandering about in the entire country, India, he came to know about the difficult conditions in which the people of India lived. His love expanded. His brothers and sisters increased in number. He wandered about and finally reached Kanyakumari. There he found the sea. A few kilometers away from the shore, he found a solitary rock. He was enamored of it, he was fascinated by it, he was attracted by it, he was drawn to it. Because he did not have a pie in his pocket, no boatman came to ferry him to the rock. He plunged into the ocean, jumped into it, swam the distance, climbed up the rock, and sat there. Maybe he stood there. 25th, 26th and 27th of December 1892, he was there at the southernmost tip of this country, where the three seas met: Bay of Bengal, Hindu Mahasamudram, and the Arabian Sea. Where the three seas meet, there is a single hillock, a rock. He sat on it. He had no food. He had no shelter to protect him, nor did he eat, nor did he sleep. He did not have water to drink. The water round the rock was all salty sea water. He could not drink. He was looking at the motherland. Now, he came to that rock, the place of Kanyakumari, the virgin goddess, the goddess of chastity, the goddess of purity, the goddess of austerity, the goddess of tapas. Even today, you find the footprint of that goddess meditating on Shiva, doing tapas to wed Shiva. Aparna she was taking perhaps the dry leaves as her food for some time. Finally, Vayu only, wind only she was taking. On the single foot she stood and she did tapasya to wed great Sadashiva. She looked at the young brahmachari, the young sadhaka, the young Vivekananda, who was freed from the clutches of tamasika prakriti. When tamas is removed, in a person we find only the dynamism, dynamic activity. He was bubbling with enthusiasm. He was full of desire to do something good to his society, some benevolent action for the benefit of the mankind. Now, his dynamism is to be given a direction. She looked at the young Vivekananda and gave him the direction. My dear young man, I am glad you are free from laziness. You are not caught in the bondage of inertia. You are freed from the four walls of your house. You are freed from the binding kith and kin. You are free from tamasika prakriti. You are now full of dynamic enthusiasm to do something for the benefit of society. But your dynamism requires to be directed. Once upon a time, as Parvati, I did tapas to marry Lord Sadashiva in Himalayas. Vasanta came with me. Manmatha came with me. I went close to Paramashiva to put forth my plea. Vasanta tried to help me. Manmatha tried to make him open his eyes with affection or love towards me. His tapas was disturbed. He opened the third eye. He reduced Manmatha to ashes. He burnt Vasanta. Then I thought, to win Shiva, this is not the way. It is only tapasya. It is only austerity which may bring Shiva to me. From Himalayas, I came down to this rock. I stood upon this rock, did tapasya, and Shiva, who spurned me when I approached him, came all the way to wed me. My dear Vivekananda, now your desire is to be directed properly with austerity. Purity is essential. Austerity is utmost important, is of utmost importance. And there is the requirement of Atma Shuddhi. Then only you will be in a position to serve the society. I give you the direction as I was given the direction. Go to Chennai. You will be given the proper guidance to go to West. There is going to be a parliament of religions in Chicago. Take part. Open the eyes of the mankind. Serve the society. Jnana yajna you perform. give them the benefits of the highest philosophy, open the eyes of everybody to the spiritual undertones of life, undercurrent of life. Let everybody know who he is or who she is. Let us always be spiritually oriented. Thus, the dynamism of Swami Vivekananda was given guidance. The dynamic activity of Swami Vivekananda was given direction. Thanking, offering pranams to the goddess, he returned, proceeded to Chennai. There, one Alsinga Perumal befriended him. He was able to recognize the talent, hidden merit, and the latent abilities of Swami Vivekananda, and he made the plea, Swamiji, in India you are not recognized. Also, your services are required in the entire world as a prophet. Please go to Chicago. I shall arrange the funds. Alsinga Perumal collected money from the youth of Chennai. Earlier, when Swami Vivekananda was a wandering monk, he went to Porbandar. There, the local king's prime minister was one Kalyan. He was able to give the direction. That prime minister in Porbandar said, Sir, you are the person worthy of taking part in the world parliament of religions. Please go there. First idea was given by the prime minister in Porbandar. It was propelled. It was given shape by Alsinga Perumal in Chennai. The youth of Chennai collected the funds, and Swami Vivekananda postponed the visit because he was not yet recipient of the permission from Holy Mother Shri Sharada Devi. Later, the permission came, and in the vision, Swami Vivekananda saw Sri Ramakrishna going towards the west. Already, Kanyakumari has given the direction to him. Therefore, he accepted. The Raja of Ramnad gave money. Mysore Maharaja sent money. Khetri Raja came. Swami Vivekananda and the Raja went to Mumbai. On the 31st of May, 1893, Swami Vivekananda boarded the ship to go to Chicago. First, Bhavatarini removed the tamasika prakriti or attachment or ignorance or clinging to the family. Second, the dynamic activity or rajasika prakriti was given direction by the great goddess Kanyakumari in Kanyakumari, the southernmost tip of this country. He proceeded to US. Somehow he was able to get an opportunity to take part in the Parliament of Religions, and the Parliament of Religions opened on the 11th of September 1893. He was on the stage. The entire morning session he did not speak. Professor Barrows, the President of the Parliament of Religions, went to Swami Vivekananda on the platform and requested him, would you like to speak now, sir? Swamiji was postponing, and finally Professor Barrows came to the forefront of the stage and announced, now the Hindu monk of India, Swami Vivekananda, would address the gathering. Swamiji stood up. Entire India stood up. Mother Bharat stood up. The cosmic devatas stood up. Indian culture stood up. Indian heritage stood up. The collective consciousness of the rishis stood up. Everything contributed to the bright brilliance of Swami Vivekananda's looks. His powerful glances, his penetrating looks, his pointed, poignant vision, with his sweeping glances, was able to win the audiences. And the very first phrase, sisters and brothers of America, it is not because of the phrase that he was able to win the audience. It was because of the love behind. Dynamism, dynamic activity, service activity is flooded with the cosmic love. Vishwamata entered his heart, opened his vision, brightened his looks, expanded his vision, and that ever expansive, embracing love was there in his heart. When he looked at the large gathering of Americans in front of him, he found them to be the children of Vishwamata. From Bhuvaneshwari Devi's children, he grew to be one of the children of Mother Bharat. In between, he became the child of Sri Ramakrishna and one of the children of Ramakrishna's one of the co-disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Finally, when he found the cosmic Mata, cosmic mother, Vishwamata, and her children in front of him, he was overwhelmed with love. He showered affection. His words were charged with the feeling of brotherhood. And he made the wonderful sentence, wonderful phrase, sisters and brothers of America. Mysteriously, unconsciously, people rose. They stood up. They were on their toes and their hands started clapping for about 3 minutes. It is not the greatness of an individual, it is the greatness of love. The dynamic cosmic love, all-embracing love, it is universal brotherhood. Now, in Swami Vivekananda, there is that Rajasika Prakriti modified. That Rajasika Prakriti charged with divinity. It was full with fellow feeling, and that goodness, that kindness, that love was there vibrant in his phrase. People responded. Therefore, we find Swami Vivekananda's address at the Parliament of Religions on the 11th of September to be commemorated as the Day of Universal Brotherhood. Swamiji has risen from tamas to rajas, and that rajas is full with cosmic love. It is vibrant. Om Namah Sri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine